and thank you so much for joining us today right here on Transforming Families. My name is Faith Kaulu, and I'm excited to have you on board because each time we're here, this means that it is yet another opportunity to have our families transformed and strengthened. With me today is Nancy Kifudhu, who is a US-based Kenyan entrepreneur, an author, as well as a public speaker. Thank you so much for being here today. Such an honor to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm extremely humbled. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Nancy, how are you finding Kenya?
Kenya is beautiful. I love the weather, the food. The welcoming was very, very good.
Yeah.
So I feel at home.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always good to come back home.
Yeah.
It's where I was born, and I'm here to stay. But I'll still go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would love to stay.
All right.
Yeah.
Sawa. Tell us, who is Nancy? Where did she grow up in?
So, yeah, like you heard, my name's Nancy Wanjiru Kibuthu. I was born in Nairobi, but when I turned 10, we moved to Nyeri. So most of my life, from 10 to maybe 24, I stayed in Nyeri, in a village called Morogoro. And I loved growing in Morogoro because that is where I found my niche, and that's probably why I'm this particular person and I'm who I am right now, because of how I was brought up. They say it takes a village. Actually, in my village, which we call Gategoro, actually brought me up. So I'm very, very happy to have been growing up over there. Yeah.
And maybe if you could paint for us a picture, how was it for you growing up, in terms of like what kind of school did you attend? Yeah.
Okay, so growing up was fun. I went to school the first time we moved to Morogoro. I went for the first year, I think it was study 3. I went to Morogoro Primary School, but then after that I was transferred to St. Teresa's, Madari, until study 8. But while I was in Morogoro Primary School, having moved from Nairobi, there was that kids were laughing at me because I didn't know Kikuyu, but I had to to learn how to write and read in Kikuyu, which was very difficult for me that time. I would call it bullying, but we didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
So, but it was okay. So I got transferred to St. Teresa's, where I went to school from Standard 4 boarding to class 8. Yeah, that was my primary education. After that, there was secondary, which was Mary Immaculate. And then college, the college I went to was still in Nyeri, Nyeri Technical. That's where I actually did secretarial, business management, business administration. Went to Nairobi for internship, and then was able to go out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
In your new book, which we'll get to talk about that, I've had the pleasure to see a few pages.
Okay.
And there's a chapter called A Father's Love that really caught me and just caught my attention. And to just read about the relationship that was there between you and your father.
Yeah.
Touch on a little, because we also want our viewers to get the book and think for themselves. But tell us a bit of about that relationship.
The relationship I had with my father was kind of challenging. He was not there 100% for me, so I always yearned for his love. At the end of the book, I wrote him a letter because I forgave him. And after the forgiveness, everything was actually flowing very well. So growing up, I would say my mom was basically my dad and my mother. So he was not physically there, but at the end of the day, you just have to forgive and move on. Alcohol was involved, unfortunately, and nowadays you see a lot of alcohol in families. It does bring a lot of issues, especially for the kids growing up. So for me, I think the issue was more alcohol. Yeah, that really broke our relationship with my dad. But the Bible says you forgive.
Yeah.
So I did. I forgave my dad, and we had a very good relationship after that. Yeah.
The forgiveness part,
Yes.
was it easy? Because I'd say African parents are tough love, they show us tough love.
Yes.
And someone recently was celebrating that the father had told her for the first time, I love you, which is something very rare for the typical African parent. And for you to talk about the forgiving your father with so much grace, was it an easy process? Did it come naturally, or you had to, really digest it?
It came naturally. Again, he was not violent or very extremely mean to me. No. He showed his love, but not around us. He was never around us. So forgiveness came natural to me. Yeah, and again, I had matured, and I knew the right thing to do was to forgive him.
Yeah.
Yes. I also learned from my mom, because my mom embraced my dad all the time. There's no one time that came and she told us, you know what, he's doing this, he's not your dad. No, she always embraced my dad and showed the love. So we had to emulate that too. Yeah.
Okay. And how would you say that shaped you up? The strained relationship, the yearning for the love, and, the whole process to the forgiveness. How did that shape you as Nancy?
As Nancy, like I said, I'm 45. I don't hold grudges. I actually forgive a lot. I work with my heart. I try to teach my kids to forgive. Well, I was dating my husband, I was actually looking for someone extremely different from my dad. But one thing I was looking for is that love, that genuine love from that I lacked from my dad. Yes, yeah.
Okay. Tell us about, the dating now. Nancy coming to find love.
Nancy found love in America. So I got there. I traveled the year 2001. That's when I went to America. And when I got there, my cousin picked me up and where I was living, and he came with a friend. That friend was David, my husband. So of course we became friends, because he was just that guy who had so much information to give. When you land in that country, you need that person who is leading you to where you need to get jobs and giving you some advice. So that's how I came to know David. Then after that, of course, there was the dating part. I remember, and I haven't told anyone about this. My first date was, I was very hungry when he came. So I was like, you know what? Can we go somewhere and eat? So the first date he took me out was in a McDonald's. So taking someone out on a date to McDonald's is not that high end, but it was okay with me, because he was a real man. Yeah.
Okay. For how long did you guys date? What beautiful thing came out of that relationship?
We dated, I would say maybe for a year. The most beautiful things that came out of that relationship, of course, is the kids. But again, David was, I would say, a man of integrity. By that I mean he was intact, undivided, this wholesome man, and he was God-fearing. So that was beautiful, and that's why I stuck with that man. Yeah.
Right. Here comes motherhood. The very first time you are now a mother. What emotions are running through you? Do you think you'll ace this? Do you have any anxiety? Are you scared?
Yes. At the beginning I was, but now I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old. It's not that tough. Me and my daughter have a very good relationship. She's basically my friend. We share a lot. My son is just a typical boy, but it's not scary. To be a mother, I think it's such a loving thing. And I emulate what my mom taught me, which is to be God-fearing, authentic, and just teach your children to do the right thing, hardworking, school and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look back right now, you'd say you've done a good job.
I think I've done a good job. Nowadays, the kids have their own. I think the world is changing. I would say the way I was brought up is not the same way I'm bringing up my daughter. It's completely different. There's their gadgets. Sometimes it's hard to even understand all the apps and what they're looking at, but it's a different world. You have to be a friend to your kids to at least understand what's going on, and also give them as much information as possible. Never be afraid to discuss anything, and that's, I think, the way I live and the way I bring up my kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at Nancy, the author. Tell us about this dream that was born. When did you think about writing a book?
When I was little, I never thought I would even write, but I always loved reading. So this was born at a time when I was struggling. When you're vulnerable, you lock yourself in and you just start thinking of maybe doing something. So when my husband passed on, that is when I started creating the books, or started writing the book, because I had time, and I had time, and what I could do with that time was just write. Yeah, that is how the first book was born. Yeah, it was a difficult time, but it seemed like I was writing to him and also writing to the kids, explaining to them how we met, how my life was before I met him, the challenges I went through, his disease, what he would have wished for, up to his death. Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about the first book. You can hold it for viewers to see.
Yes.
When was it published? And why would you tell our viewers to get it?
All right. This is the first book. The name of it is Beyond All Limitations. The title basically is telling you that you can go so far. You're not limited to anything. I'm here as an example. I'm a testimony to that. Despite all the challenges I went through, I conquered. Yes. So it's a memoir, just telling you that you are limited. Yes. You're not limited. You're not limited. You can do anything, and there's so much out there. Yeah. So just go for it. Do whatever you can to just conquer. Yes.
If a reader is done with the book, what do you hope that they'd have achieved, or how do you hope the book will leave them feeling?
Actually, I think what the book does to a lot of my friends that have read it, and this is what I was looking forward to, it encourages them. Because of the stories that are in the book, and it also humbles them in a way, because again of my experiences in life, it gives them strength and hope. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why exactly such a book? You say that it's a memoir.
Yeah.
As an author, you'd have written maybe something fictional.
Yes.
Or any other genre. So why this exactly?
Because I was writing about me, also writing to my kids, and also kind of writing to my husband, as I know he was gone, but at that time I was just thinking about my life and how he came into my life, and now my kids. So that's why it was all about me and the miracles that came along. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about when was it published? I don't think
it was published October of 2020, but I started writing it right after he passed away, which was I think September 2019.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yeah.
It took you about 1 year to write the book.
Yeah, it took about 1 year, and it's out there right now. You can actually get it on Amazon if you need to read it. Yeah.
For how much?
It's 1,500. Not too expensive.
Not too expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. During that time, because authors say, I got my inspiration when I went to a faraway resort or when I locked myself up in the room. Where did you find the inspiration? At what time did you find yourself writing best? Take us through the writing journey itself, considering it was a very tough moment where you were also grieving.
Yes, yes. I didn't mention that I love reading. I love books, but I love self-development books, motivational books. So having read so many books, I always, actually at the back of my mind, always said like, maybe one day I'll write a book, but I didn't know when and the time. And so when my husband passed, again, that's when I started thinking of writing the book. I was in a place of vulnerability, but when you're vulnerable, you create. And I created the book then. I started writing then. Yeah.
Okay. I want us to, walk through the journey of being an author and releasing the book. When the book was now being released to the public, tell us again, what were you hoping? Were you expecting it to be received well?
Like I had never done it before, so I was accepting anything. Well, I was expecting to just give it to my friends and then hear what they say about the book. The expectation was met because so many people liked the story. So I think it did well. I'm looking forward to writing many more, and I hope it's a good thing.
Okay, so
yes.
It's a journey you've embraced.
Yes, it is a journey I've embraced, and I think when you write, it gives you kind of a therapy. To me, it's more therapeutic than anything else. Yeah.
Okay. So is it something, after the first book, did you take a break or did you keep writing because you still have another book you've released?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you do it?
So after the first book, I took a break. I didn't think I was gonna write another book. I took a break, and then one day again, just sitting there, I thought, by the way, it's good to write another book, but this book would be more of giving back to the community, because the thought of building a library was constantly coming into my mind. So I started writing the other book. It has a lot of characters. Again, it's about that girl child or boy child growing up in a village or wherever they are growing up, facing a lot of challenges. So the second book was born that way. Yeah.
Okay. So here's a question.
Yeah.
Readers have demands. After reading your first book, probably there's something as a fan of Nancy expect from her second book. Did you feel any pressure, to think what are my readers expecting? Or for you followed what your heart is saying that, my second book should be about this?
Oh, okay. I didn't... I just followed my heart and did what I thought was coming from my inner self. Again, I think it's authentic, very authentic when you do something from your heart. So whatever I wrote was just... Actually, it's fun writing, and it's fun doing this. So I write it from my heart. Yeah.
All right. I think we'll take a very short break before we talk about your second book.
Okay.
But guys, here is Beyond All Limitation by Nancy Kifuthu, and she said that you can get it on Amazon.
Yes.
Yeah. And keep it right here, because after the very short break, we are going to talk about her very new book, which definitely you have to hear about. So keep it here.
Kwenye makala ya jukwaa la moderator tunapojiweka mbele katika mambo yote tunayofanya, huwa tumeenda kinyume na matakwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Hasira moja iliyokuwa na Mungu ni kuhusu watu wanaojipenda. Kazi ya Mungu inapaswa kupewa kipaumbele. Hivyo kuna uwezekano ya kwamba tukisikiza ushauri wa Mungu kwa njia inayofaa, tutakuwa sawa kwake, sababu Mungu ana rehema na anatupenda.
Jiunge na moderator wa kanisa la PCEA Mchungaji Thegu Mutahi kwa mahubiri, mafunzo na ufafanuzi wa masuala ibuka nchini kila Jumapili ya kwanza ya kila mwezi saa 1:30 jioni hapa CAK TV.
Tafakari njia zako.
PCEA Ongata Booth Girls High School of Excellence is an outstanding girls boarding high school ideal for learning. Located in a quiet and serene environment in Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County. The school aims to produce highly qualified students who will be readily admitted to world-class high institutions of learning and graduate into outstanding citizens of integrity.
We offer quality education in conformity with the Ministry of Education standards and guidelines. Our tutors are highly qualified and experienced. Our school fees is friendly. We have considered the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic.
We are appealing to you that you enroll your girls in Form 1, Form 2 and Form 3. Our school is founded on Christian background, and we are surely assuring you that when you bring your girl, you will not regret.
Founded and grounded on Christian values, discipline is one of its fundamental values.
We take care of our girls spiritually. We have a church just across here where they worship every Sunday, and in between the week we have a very, very strong Christian union and other activities that they also run. We really encourage you to bring your children here that they may get the experience of learning in a Christian environment.
The school boasts of modern state-of-the-art facilities such as spacious classrooms, a well-equipped library, science and computer laboratories, a dining hall and a modern kitchen with a robust feeding program. We take keen interest in nurturing students' talents, hence our semi-Olympic sized swimming pool and spacious fields.
When looking for a school where your daughter can go through a transformative process of education, do not look beyond PCEA Ongata Booth Girls High School of Excellence. Give us the girl and we will give you back a holistic lady of dignity and integrity.
All right, welcome back and thank you so much for keeping it right here on the program. Today with me is Nancy Kifuthu, who is a US-based Kenyan entrepreneur. Confusing kidogo, but I've got it That's right. Okay. As well as an author and a public speaker. And we've just talked about her first book. We'll get to your second book in a few. But allow me to ask, as an author, do you write oftenly? Even if you're not, writing a book currently, do you write about any other issues or just as a way of relaxing, and in how many hours?
I sometimes I write anything. On a professional level, I just started doing this like 2019, but I write a lot, just things for myself. Yes, yeah.
Okay. One would wonder, were you good at languages while in
Yes,
school?
yes. One of my favorite subjects was grammar, English. Yes, arts were good. I was
Yeah.
very good with arts. Yeah.
Okay. Still, let's hold on the book kidogo, so dear, don't go too far. But as an entrepreneur, I think it will be not just for me to end the program without talking about that.
Yes.
Tell us about what you do in the US.
So in the US, I have this company. The name of the company is Humble Home Care Services. Again, the reason why I named the agency Humble Home Care Services is because when I got there, I was so humbled by the country. It was humbling to see this big, huge country with all these beautiful people and so many opportunities. So that's why I called it Humble Home Care Services. At Humble Home Care Services, we take care of the elderly, and we give them tender love to continue aging properly. Yes, yeah.
Okay. What prompted you to start that business?
So when I was a little girl, I remember I loved going to my neighbors and just sitting down with the older ladies and listening to them give me stories was awesome. It gave me so much joy. Basically, when my kids were playing out there, I would just naturally go to these ladies and sit down, wash their feet, help them take out the jiggers, just care for them. And this started when I was, I think, 9 or 10. So that passion continued with me unknowingly when I got over there. When I'm around the older people, it's just joy. They make me laugh, and I think they're full of wisdom. Yeah, so it's fun working with them. And starting the agency was just like a walk in the park to me. It was awesome. Yeah.
And how's the business doing?
It's doing okay, I thank God. Especially because of COVID, everybody is looking for care, so it's doing quite well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any challenging moments you've had?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of challenges when you when you have a business. Some of them are lack of genuine workers, or even lack of workers in general, especially nowadays. Having started a business over there with just being by myself was also hard. So we just didn't grow. It was organically growing. So it's been a challenge, but I thank God for where we are right now.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to Nancy, the author now. Girl Work That Magic is her second book. Here it is. Allow me to ask what inspired the title, Girl Work That Magic.
Girl Work That Magic. If you read the book, you'll find it somewhere. I'm a firstborn of 4 girls, so I am so passionate of the girl child. I am also a mother of a girl child, and in the world we're living today, having gone through my experiences as a girl, there's a lot that a girl child is going through. So I thought of inspiring, empowering, and bringing that literature out to support the girl voice up. Yeah, speak up for themselves and not be afraid. So that's why the title is Girl Work That Magic. Yeah.
But it can be read even by a guy.
It can be read by a girl, a guy, or even a parent. It's very inspiring in many ways. We have characters in the book where the boys or the guys are creating or making cars with their own hands. It's elevating the talent of a boy too, not just a girl.
All right.
Yes.
Tell us about Girl Work That Magic. If someone was to get this book, what would they expect? What did you write about?
So if you're gonna get the book, or if you're gonna read the book, you will be inspired as a girl. You will be able to face hopefully anything that comes towards you. And it's also a book that explains the way I was brought up in the village. Being brought up in the village means that I would have been disciplined by a neighbor, so it took a village to bring me up. And the schools I went to, the challenges that were there, I was able to speak up. Playing with the kids, with the other kids in the schools, is also in the book, but you're not just playing with boys, you're trying to create these things with boys, like the teens, they would make the cars with the teens. So it's a book that is encouraging your inner self to come out. That talent that you have in you should come out by the time you're finishing reading the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. You mentioned that it's about, your childhood and you're growing up in the village. Why was it important for you to write about that?
I wanted to talk to that girl or that boy that is in the village and has no hope. I wanted them to know that I also was in that village. I was also looking for hope, and I want them to know that their dream is worth dreaming, and they can do whatever they want in the world. I'm bringing hope back, and hopefully I can educate someone, or someone can benefit from reading the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging time or moment while you were writing this book?
When I was writing the book, the most challenging time, I don't think I had a challenging time.
Okay.
I would say probably COVID made it take longer to write and also complete the whole book. As we speak, we are still working on bringing out the book to the market, so that would be the challenge.
Okay, so the juices were flowing.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
The juices were flowing. Everything was coming from my inner self. The ability to be able to work with your own hands, which I do up to this moment. Taking care of the elderly, you just use your hands.
Yeah.
Nobody actually trained me on how to do it. It's something that was in me that came out, and now I'm using my hands. I tell the kids and the young girls that I counsel and mentor that you can create your brand using your own hands.
Yeah.
You can do anything using your own hands. Yeah.
Would you say you believe in writer's block? Now that you've told us, for you things were flowing, you wrote. Different authors said, I took a break, 1 year break or 6 months break. Is that something you believe in?
I would say yes. Yeah, but I'll go with the flow.
Okay.
Yes, I think I would go with the flow. Yeah.
Comparing Girl, Work That Magic and Beyond All Limitations, writing which book did you have the most fun?
I would say Girl, Work That Magic, because
right.
when I was writing Beyond All Limitations, I was going through a lot. I was basically trying to give my story to my kids, and also writing to David, who had already passed on, my husband. So writing the second book has been fun. Yeah, this was more therapeutic, and I was mourning at the time. Yeah.
All right. Which books are you currently reading? Where did you gain your experience from? Because they say iron sharpens iron. You must have read from a great author to become a great author yourself. Is there someone who you're currently reading?
Yes, I read a lot of books, but right now as we speak, I'm reading this book by Martha Beck. It's called The Way of Integrity. It's a very good book. I also read Deepak Chopra. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's an Indian author. He just basically talks about peace, the way of life, and he's a very good author. But over the years, I've read Michelle Obama's books, Oprah books, and many more books out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
So you said you're still working on releasing the book to the market.
Yes.
Meaning you're still in the process.
I'm still working on it. It's in the process, but in case you need the book, I can direct them where to get the book.
Please do.
So you can call this number. It's 0731 958 206. Terrazzo New Media. Can I repeat it again?
Yes.
0731 958 206. Terrazzo New Media.
Okay.
You can call and you will definitely get the book.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll also put the number on our screens as well.
Okay.
So that they can call and get
Yes.
the book. Currently, how much is it going for?
That book is going for 1,000.
Okay.
All the proceeds I get are gonna go to the library that I'm hoping I could build in my village to benefit that boy, girl, child. Yes.
Tell us about that. You know, why a library and not anything else, first of all?
Yeah, library, because I think when you read, your mind goes places, and also education is very important.
That's true.
To a girl that is growing up or a boy that is growing up. So I'm thinking of a library that will be having different departments. So after school, or you've done your final exams, and you're waiting to do something, you can go to the library and be taught some skills like hairdressing, catering, electrical, mechanical. It depends, the basic skills that can at least assist you to face the world or also broaden your mind. Money management is very important. Those are the trainings I think that would benefit anyone in the village.
Okay. You've mentioned that all proceeds will go to building the library.
Yes.
So nothing will go into your pocket.
Nothing.
Why such a selfless move? I assume it is difficult because you took hours, you invested in this book.
Yes.
Why such a selfless move?
I love to give back. I think it's something I have in me. I just love giving back because I give back and then I get back so much. I would say also I've been blessed. I like Maya Angelou's quote that says, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. So I'm just here to bless and give and say thank you to that community of people, or the women where I grew up that taught me so much. I'm just giving back to the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than the library, is there something else you're doing back home?
Back home, I mentor little kids from the age of 8 to 14. When their bodies are changing, I like to sit down with them and talk to them, because growing up, I wasn't told. Basically, I was told boys are bad, but after that, nothing else.
Yeah.
So they love when I sit down with them. I give them this package and books to read about the changes of the body, and then in the bag I put some little girly nice gifts, so that when that time comes, they are well prepared. And I have seen and experienced that when I talk to them, they are able to start the conversation in their homes. So it's easier for the parent to, so that's what I do.
Oh, that's it. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
For our viewers, if they'd like to get in touch with you, are you on social media pages? You could tell us your handles.
So Nancy Kibuthu on all social media pages, just Nancy Kibuthu. Yes.
That is Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn,
Twitter,
all those. But the number I would give is also a number anyone can call to reach out to me.
Sure.
It's 0731 958 206, Terrazzo New Media.
All right.
Yes.
So, thank you so much. Dear viewer, you've had, get in touch with Terrazzo Media to get Girl Work That Magic, as well as on Amazon to get Beyond All Limitations.
Yes.
As we conclude, what would you say gives you so much joy as an author?
What gives me so much joy as an author is knowing that someone will read, or a girl or a boy will read the book and get motivated to do whatever they want to do, bring out their inner talent and work on it and actually benefit from it. Yes.
All right. Are you hoping that any of your kids will take up that and
I
write books of
hope
their own?
so. I hope so. They are both so different. I'll say my daughter, who's 13 years old, likes forensic science. So I don't know if she's gonna take after me.
Yeah.
My son again is just a boy. I really don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, they're more into games and all that. Yeah. But as a parent, I would like to support that. Whatever they are doing, or whatever they would like to do, I would support that. And I think as a nation, we should all support what our kids are willing to do. I know sometimes it's hard because of the resources, but it's good to support.
Okay.
Yeah.
To your fans, I know you've just released these, but should they expect anything sooner, or 2 books and that's it, or more is coming? What would you tell your fans?
Well, I'm beyond driven. I feel like I'm enjoying this, so more is coming. I'll go with the flow. Whatever subject comes into mind. Again, my passion is to inspire the growth of the youth, boy, girl. Yes, so definitely more is coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Beyond all limitations.
Beyond all limitations, but I'm beyond driven.
You're beyond driven.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
to do this.
I like how you're not just writing for entertainment, but also to inspire and to encourage. And I think we shouldn't end today's program without you speaking a word of advice or hope to a viewer out there who is maybe feeling stuck, or is feeling what I'm doing is not working out, and they need that little inspiration. What would you tell them?
Okay, what I would tell that person or that girl, boy that is over there trying to do something and they think they are stuck, I would ask you to focus on that one thing that you love doing. Focus on that one thing. Nurture it. When you focus, it brings other things around. It's gonna make you grow in other ways, so it brings out branches. An example is, if you plant a tree and you water it, it just grows. But if you plant a tree and then you water everything around it, then it crumbles. So I would advise anyone that is doing something, just focus on one thing and you'll see the fruits after.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for coming today, Nancy.
Thank you.
Guys, God Work That Magic is a book you really need to get. I have had the pleasure of, having a few chapters to read, and it is quite a nice read. And I think I'm humbled, and it's good that you're my first Kenyan author to read. I have Kenyan books, but for some reason I haven't opened the pages, but yours, and I quite like it. So I would encourage you, dear viewer, to get this book. It is life-changing for your partner, or for your brother, sister, or for your child as well. And that is all we had for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Transforming Families. My name is Faith Kaulu. Till next time, keep working that magic. Bye.